to find the good things about their roster, to believe in their players that they have on the squad and realize that success is possible despite their bad beginning.
It's a new lifeline for them. If Coach Sliggy was talking about making changes in terms of the IGLing, them trying to at least settle in that that capacity with their roster, but obviously now they had to put all of that on pause to play out this tournament, and it seems like they are enjoying themselves. So she's going to get a bit of free ground here into the B side, but not for much longer. This looks like a quick retake. Scream is already deep playing inside the smoke. He has the judge in hand. Look at the wrist. Link able to cover for the rest of his team. Jumping around the corner. And not enough for them. They do get a plant down. A bit of money in the back pocket, but outside of that, a clean round for Liquid.
And this has now put them into a fantastic position. If you think about expectations after Xerxes win the pistol round, you're thinking, all right, it's going to be 8-6. Now it's 8-7 the other way around. With Liquid in the lead on the favored side of Split, with ults to play with. It's something that happens when you win the bonus and you win, these funky rounds as well. You're able to get into a good economical position and a good ult economy position too. They have ults to be able to contend with Xerxes here and make this the round 16 bonus, essentially. Pretty expensive. Yampi's able to even afford an operator, and if he loses it, it really doesn't make too much difference. He can still buy again.
He's still got a pocket change.
I do think though, I think the breach gives up hopping on defense, weirdly enough. Because I think you're going to want to use your flashes a lot of the time to
support your team.
Yeah, to support your team or go aggressive somewhere else. Yampi's really going to be playing for himself here. You'll see him do stuff like if he gets pushed off this angle,
sama nggak dengan suaraku 1:1 nggak ya?
using the flash to try and set himself back up on the
Iya, 1:1.
So she's going to show the discipline, not quite. It's a slight jiggle peek. Not enough to try and spot that the operator was in play. Rewarded with the kill.
He's a very consistent offer as well.
Oh yeah, super consistent. Any opportunity for Liquid to get the operators in the hands of some of their players as well. Might even see the double operator play a little bit later maybe. Depends how much.
Yampi ini pakai operator.
Keep that bankroll moving.
One thing that's not consistent though is the roles that they end up playing. So these players have certainly spread themselves thin in recent times, but their composition and Xerxes honestly are kind of more back to basics, back to old stuff that they remember how to play, or stuff that they've taken from other maps. Here we see Xerxes taking B main control. This looks like a pop.
Yeah,
okay. They've got their lockdown, they have the rolling thunder as well.
They're not even away from the lockdown, of course, there's only 20 seconds remaining, someone's got to deal with Scream, and finally the trade comes through. Lockdown still active and space has been gained for them.
Ini kalau menang qualified nih,
for the fast retake. Yampi's holding on to his own ult. Ready in hand, ready and waiting. The rolling thunder rips across. Fox is in the spawn, but he's a little bit clueless. He still gets it. He's stunned up the flash. It's going to be this, but Nvidia luckily able to get that one still. The spike will go down. Only 2 players left standing. All of them. Xerxes, whatever it's all up to Scary in the backside, and he's alone.
Game keberapa?
Masih game 1.
Game pertama aja.
Iya. Babak pertama.
Map siapa?
Good response from Liquid. I said I
pilihannya Liquid.
They're getting there with a lot of pace. They're in, they're using utility well, covering for each other, and they're doing it with an AWP as well.
Absolutely, you could see the idea in Xerxes' head as well, where Fox was trying to disrupt the fast retake of the rolling thunder. They wanted to essentially throw a set up like this, but it was just a little bit off.
Xerxes milih icebox.
I mean, there was still a bit of chaos happening, wasn't there?
Of course.
Fox full blinding a couple of people and some weirdness, certainly. Xerxes, they've forced up a Vandal here on Fox, but the rest of their players are half buying. They've taken early B main control here. Scream's wall just uncontested in mid.
Yeah, no one going to be breaking this one down. Obviously, Fox doesn't want to spam it in case there's a player holding on top.
Yeah, it's normally only safe to do that at the pro level when there's a couple of players with you, or at least
just so that they can cover that one angle.
Asik aja nampak akan.
And he's the kind of sage that really does enjoy taking fights, right? There's some sages that you just know they're not going to play on the top of their wall.
Now he's playing for himself with the walls.
Sometimes is, yeah. And he mixes it in enough that you get scared.
Tip dog for information. You can see Scream just wanted to spam that one out, so nothing was revealed of their setup. Still got away with it. He's just wide swinging that. I mean, confidence. The man playing like he's online right now. Not online, but you know what I mean.
just exudes it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to take the fights, and I think that's so important playing against Sersha. They pivot over the way, and then the trip catches Sushi Boys, sets up Yampi for the easiest kill of his life.
You don't anticipate the back-to-back trips.
And Yampi with the shorty again, just playing inside the smoke, expecting somebody, but Scream was not.
There's a bit of chaos maybe injected into this round here. Yeah, Scream was unaware that they had already worked their way up into heaven.
Okay, Scary goes for the wild play.
Okay.
From the shadows, just straight into the attacker's spawn.
But a running gun cruise. Okay, I mean, that is cheeky. Putting the Spectre to work now, and it is left up to him. The 1v2, he tries to swing out for it. He does bring down Soulcast, but not before the trade is once again.
Ngelawan Zod Asia
Link's a
Pasifik.
player who typically falls to the wayside in discussions about Team Liquid, but I think he's been having a fantastic tournament in terms of the value he's able to bring so far.
Yes, he completely is. If you look at Champions, he was the only player, in my opinion, that overperformed how he'd been doing online when it came to the LAN event. That was a situation where Liquid outpaced X10, this Xerxia roster.
Yeah.
They were able to take one step further into that playoffs, and part of that was Link. He's just rock solid for the team.
Telat smoke nah.
So just trying to hold these crossfires. I mean, it got a little bit chaotic in the moment there, obviously, with Scream not realizing that Heaven control was lost to them.
But I think one of the problems here for Xerxia, and something they may be discussing in this timeout, they're running a double flash composition, right? They've got the breach, they've got the sky. I mean, you could call it triple with the paranoia if you like. But this composition should thrive on chaining the flashes together, really putting Surf in a position to frag out and have him be the centerpiece of your comp. And they've instead taken a much slower pace to this map. It feels like they're cautiously taking areas, worried about where Liquid could be, and trying to methodically take map control. I would really like to see Xerxia, now that that plan isn't really working, to just send it. Just balls to the wall aggression. That's what I'm looking for from Xerxia after this timeout.
Something that I was a bit critical.
Zod tambah 20.000 lagi Zod. Biar genap mah 200.000
It's a map that they're not as comfortable on.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously Liquid a lot of preparation. And still a best of 3, remember?
A couple of weeks of preparation.
Yeah, they've had a bit of time.
180 nggak suka aku ngeliatnya.
Just looking at the setup right now, you've got Cruz with the spike, looking like he wants to stun a ramp, as Team Liquid set themselves up for B main control. So big fight happening around B main, but the spike, I mean, this isn't going to be an all-in push for Xerxia. They're battling for map control early on.
That's the important factor for them. Could see an explosive attempt. Those Astra Stars are scary to look at as well. As soon as the barriers go down, you just see them revealed. You're left wondering, oh god, how do we want to play into this one? You have to respect it as well. While this is going on though, Fox gets a bit of information. That's the cam going to be cleared. And that was being used, honestly, to spot out a lot of these hits ahead of time when Xerxia were leaning towards that A side.
All of that B main control from Liquid was to set Yampi up on the angle with his operator, and that got broken in an instant by this smoke from Scary. Yampi doesn't feel confident being able to hold such a close angle with the op, so he moves back around to the default position. Once again, though, Brent, this wall in mid is not being broken, and it's just giving Liquid too much safety, too much security. Xerxia are going to explode here onto B. Can Yampi take one with him?
A lot of pressure on Yampi to try and deal with this one, because you can see it. On a minimap, it's all lining up right now for the Xerxia initiation in a quick dash into the smoke, but luckily Yampi, well, he's holding the one side of it. Surf removed. The impetus of a lot of these pushes is gone from it now, and with the aftershock off to the side, will the swing be good enough? Still, they try and make it happen, but Team Liquid again with the crossfire. Soulcast from on high, and he shuts it down before it even gets started.
They ruined them in the choke. Amazing play from Yampi though too. He had 3 separate angles in that round with his operator. Started really pushed up in B main.
Liquid nih map 1 nih.
Falls back to CT. Look at him here pathing around. He just knows what Surf is going to do. Remember, Yampi plays Jet himself. And Yampi, hey, I've seen him a lot of times dashing.
Extend pernah ketemu
He
Liquid
knows what
sebelumnya.
goes wrong for Jet players, and he can do it back to them.
Saw it happen yesterday.
Belum ya.
Except it actually went well.
It did occasionally.
Segan orang nih rasanya.
Yeah. But,
Pertama kali ketemu Scream. Rata-rata kan kayak itu tuh.
And something that Xerxia have not been dealing with. They're only doing it now on the eco round though, Brent, when it takes them 1,000 bullets from their pistols to even contend with.
And Scream is just willing to take the fight. I mean, this guy the rifle in hand, the coverage is there as well from Soulcast. He's able to just spam so the Scream can escape. A bit of a getaway there. But a risky play nevertheless. I mean, you end up going down there to maybe a sheriff shot or something. You're handing them a weapon. It showcases these guys are playing with immense amounts of confidence now.
I mean, even from the Xerxia side, they're walking through a slow orb immediately after breaking the wall. I'm talking about breaking the wall to deny information to Liquid, not to run down Scream on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of patience here from Xerxia as he goes for the re-clear, but Soulcast is too sharp with it. Better weapon as well, and Scream mops up the last. That's Liquid, they're on map point.
Really setting the groundwork, I think, as well in that first half. Such a dominant attack side for Liquid. You can see it really paying off now in the second half. It's a Prime Gaming flawless for you as well.
Last player standing. Spike
Really
down.
clean play from Team Liquid here.
Yeah, it's been good.
Tadi game pertama tuh ini tuh Fnatic lawan NIP.
NIP, tahu lah.
NIP 2-0. Roster baru Fnatic semuanya. Roster baru. Ada 2 orang yang baru.
Decide to just walk into it, take the gamble, pays off. Here's a rolling thunder.
Seekers as well. Has the star set up for it. It seems like it's a bit of a read for them. The slow orb is there. Surf dashes forwards into his own smokes, just trying to gain control of this site. But there's a showstopper in hand of Soulcast with the nade as well. It combos over the slow and Sushi Boys is
masih bisa nih, Zed. Masih bisa nih, Zed. Nah, tuh ada ulti. Masih bisa nih. Ah, ini surfnya dapat 1 nih. Dapat CT-nya tuh. Yakin aku. Ya, nggak ngecek kiri anjingnya. Anjingnya nggak ngecek kiri, cu. Ya. Ya. Anjingnya nggak ngecek kiri ya tuh.
Look at them, they're not ecstatic, they know there's more of the job left to be done, but it's a quiet confidence they seem to be exuding ever since they've taken the stage at Masters. I don't know where they've necessarily got it from, because their online results didn't breed it, but it's there. You can see it in the way that they play, in the way that they move and interact with each other. And Xerxia, yeah, it's not your map pick. They can reset, try and look for the next 2.
Alright, mean mugging the camera a little bit. Oh, okay, I mean, that's cheeky. That's cheeky. That's cheeky. And yeah, it is. It's that quiet confidence, Josh, you're talking about from Liquid. Something that they need. I think it's at least how I felt watching their online performances. Sometimes they do just end up crumbling, losing many rounds in a row. Sometimes they don't even get rounds on the board. Sometimes is what it ends up happening. And let's just take a little look as well at some of the highlights from that map that we just witnessed. Definitely some close attempts from Xerxia, I think, on this map to try and at least wrangle back control at various moments. But Liquid showcasing that they have come into this one with a very good idea. Back to the basics of the composition they were playing at the initial start of the 2022 season.
Tenang Liquid mainnya sekarang.
They were looking clean here. There were certainly the moments from Xerxia. They kept the first half really close, but overall weren't able to keep pace. We'll see whether that's possible on maps 2 and 3. We're going to get into more comfortable territory there for Xerxia, where the APAC team can really show us what they're made of.
Absolutely.
One way smoke-nya scary, bagus-bagus.
Coming up after the break, ladies and gentlemen, obviously the analyst desk going to be breaking down a lot of what we've just witnessed. And you can see how much it means to all of these guys. Yeah, what a way to start it all off, as I just said. We're going to be going to a short break, the analyst desk breaking it all down, and then map 2 following right after that.
Bang Winda main game horror terus sekarang.
Ultra wideband in many more cities, so you can do more. Mindy, with up to 10 times faster speeds, she can download a movie.
Siap nggak bagi guys? Kata gue 4 game hari ini habis langsung.
Ada setelah nih.
faster and safer.
Ini berarti
It's so powerful that
DRX
it's not just for
lawan
phones.
yang menang siapa
Hello,
tadi?
5G
NIP.
home and business internet. It's
NIP?
time to go ultra with Verizon,
Atau
America's most
Optik ya?
reliable 5G network, so you
Nah,
can do
coba
more.
cek ya. Nih, iya. Enggak cuy. Besok ini, nanti nih jam 10 ternyata.
Malam.
Iya. Fanatik. Oh, cuma 2 game. Oh iya, cuma 2 game. Besok yang 3. Nanti malam 3.
Paket Shopee COD.
Ada iklan nggak tuh?
Kabar dulu Ayang. Sebelum kita buka paketnya,
Melody punya
Ada
pantun
iklan
buat
lagi
kamu.
nggak tuh?
Buka puasa makan nasi biryani, pulangnya membeli kopi.
Bisa nggak comeback-nya?
Bisa lah, map 2 kan Icebox pilihan Sersia. Bisa nih. Masalahnya susah nih, kalau kalah dia ketemu Optik lagi. Antara Optik sama Kru. Susah sih, harus menang deh nih lawan tim Liquid.
Well, EMEA fans, you might have been disappointed in the first map, the first match even, but don't worry, Team Liquid, they've got you. The Hopian, the Copian is back for EMEA, and if Liquid keep playing like that, Jess and Kukuka, they might not just make it out of this qualification match, but maybe a little bit further than that.
Yeah, exactly. Champion, the operator, name a more iconic duo. I just do not know what happens with this guy. But, you know, on the side of Sushi, and I was talking, you know, about not bringing the KO in. I feel like when you're against a a team that loves duels as much as Liquid, and not only that, that has two very strong players on the operator. You need something to disrupt that kind of even possibility. And you know, when it came to their attack, they only got that one round, the first one, the pistol round, and then after Liquid, which is I think the team that builds momentum the fastest, gets the second round, it was set in stone. Like there was nothing that they could do. Am I convinced by the Astra? I don't know. I just think that Link is such an amazing player that I just want to see him be free, you know.
I mean, a great controller, one of the best in the EMEA. So no matter what he plays, I think we can kind of be confident he's going to do something good. And I think you turned around, you know, with a nice phrase or a momentum. I believe Scream himself said, yeah, we run off a lot of momentum, and I think that's going to be a key word for them. Momentum is already firmly in their pocket now. They've won map 1, but I wanted to point out about your point about the op. And the reason I want to point out this play, nothing looks special, does, because let's be honest, he even misses this first shot onto Surf. He does a bit of a shoulder man. But thank you, Kukuki. You know where I'm going with this. He responds with a flash, and then he places super far back. He reads the situation so perfectly.
And it's not only that, it's also the utility and the support from his teammates, the stars. That is what I was talking about. Slowing those executes is exactly what you want with this composition. Surf is dashing in, but he's going to be on his own.
Yes, and he knew that. He read it. He backed up. And I think this is why Yumpy has so much, I guess, success with operators. Even when they run double ops, it's a huge risk to do that. Let us not get this, you know, mistaken by any means. It's a risk to do that. And by his positioning, map awareness, and understanding of the play, he knows where to be at the right time and the right place. So if you're just thinking that Yumpy is an op god, yeah, sure, no problems. But there's so much smarts that goes into that play. We've really got to give him props for that.
It feels like it's just comfort picks, right? You have Link on the Astra. He loves that agent. Scream on the Sage. Yumpy gets the op. Maybe this is the winning recipe for Liquid, not to do something crazy, but just the comfort bit. Also, Soulcast on the Raze. I feel like I'm watching like 2020 Liquid. They're all just playing agents they love. And speaking of something that they love and what we love, of course, it's Scream. He absolutely popped off again today. We were going to show you a different aim lab shoot around, but I thought it would be a little bit pointless, because who else would you want to see shooting heads and shooting balls than Scream, Kukuka?
Okay, exactly. And talking about balls, we can also talk about orbs. He is the one, you know, that gives a different meaning on how to play that battle stage. Even on that play that we were looking at with Yumpy, it was crazy. It was like, yeah, I'll fill the orb. No, actually, I'm just gonna go and support you from the kills just in case anybody's gonna push the smoke. But yeah, it's crazy to see. You know, it's a skill from Scream. We know exactly. We've seen it before. We see it on the server every single time that Liquid is playing.
Round 14 rings in my mind for a man that's a one-tap god. I mean, it was a 2v1 situation. Let's say Scream goes down in heaven. He's got a sheriff in his hand, and it comes a 1v1. Very possible for Xerxia to get that second round. But the man says, I'm up in heaven. I'm a deity. I'm a god. Bang from across the site. Good night.
And that's why you need those warm-ups.
Sure.
Yeah. They do talk about his one taps. I'm sorry. I need to squeeze it in just at least once every time we talk about Scream. But map 1, that was all Team Liquid. They had a super dominant second half. But Icebox is where I feel like maybe the narrative changes a little bit, considering the form we saw Liquid on this map at EMEA as well.
Yes,
Ini apa kau jual?
Ada, betul gak Rian, Cok? Tapi udah lama sebetulnya pikir dah. Enak, Cok, kayak Dani itu lah. Satu-satu skinnya Vandal, satu Kingdom satu. Beli skin OP satu. Ini aku spend duit banyak-banyak. Skin aku cuma 3 lah kayak satu game tuh.
Itu pakai yang mana kau sekarang?
Ada nih lagi dijual, lagi dijual.
Berapa kau jual?
1.2.
1.200.000.
Rugi 500 sih. Nggak rugi sedikit ya.
Rugi masih nggak 1.500.000 tuh.
Emang iya, cuman
Cuman kalau di atas itu nggak ada yang mau beli nanti kan.
Iya. Bisa sih beli jual-jual 1.500.000. Cuman kalau apa? Diamond ke atas. Ada yang mau jual 800 cuma 2 skin ya modal.
Oh, rank ngaruh ke harga juga ya?
Ngaruh.
Well, we know how important Sage is on this map, but Jess, are you comfortable with Liquid not running it?
Yes. Yes, and the reason I say this is actually flexibility is one of the things I've heard the boys up in the casting booth talk about. The flexibility of the players, they can play whatever. I mean, if your bread and butter is to just live and breathe flexing onto whatever agent you want, this is the team to possibly do it.
Yeah, but what I want to, and I love Scream playing on the Jet. I want to, maybe see Scream going on the Sage.
Yeah.
Really? That battle Sage. Yeah. And then Jumpy moving onto that Jet and just remove the Omen completely. I think it suits
He's
us
been
better.
open well. It's Icebox. Why not?
Bikin akun baru lah,
You get two faces of Jumpy. Either he shows up on the
main
first
bodoh-bodoh
map,
kita.
disgusting the rest of the match, is going to be destroying everyone, or he's like,
Akun gue tuh bisa dijual tuh kayak 400.000, 500.000.
Akun aku tuh.
Let's not forget how predictable his Omen became. Like the way that he absolutely got red every single time they use this agent. I feel like you're right. I think you might be onto something, that if they're going to change something, it's here, because Xerxia, they're going to do their preparations the way that G2 did and the other opponents back in EMEA as well. We are into the prime gaming agent select, as you guys can see. The last comp they ran on your screen, Xerxia, we saw them already yesterday. Unlikely they would make any changes in a couple. Oh, okay. The Sage. Wait. I need a Sova. That's all I'm saying. The Sage is back, and there's no Sova. There is Sova. The Sage is back. The Killjoy is back.
You didn't want him on the Omen.
No. Okay, I didn't want him on Omen, but it's so surprising for me, because I was just mentioning how Team Liquid has such strong operators.
Si bos nih pakai Killjoy terus.
Not even have a chamber on their compositions.
Is it because Yumpy, not he's feeling
tapi ini lower ya masalahnya. Berarti siapa yang nunggu guys?
Upper nih. Yang nunggu di lower tuh antara kru sama optik. Antara kru sama optik, belum main lagi orang tuh. Optik ketemu kru di bawah tuh.
Here's a fun fact: the last time Team Liquid ran this comp, it was the time that they beat.
Weh, keyboardnya Foxy lah, keyboardnya Foxy.
Just before Iceland 2021. So let's see what they can do here, Sideshow and Bren.
Suka kali gue liatnya. Alah, nggak diliatin.
Yeah, excited to bring you map 2 here in this series, and again, so much importance on the line for them, because Liquid are one map away from making their way into the playoffs. And the reason why that's so important, obviously, the elephant in the room, Josh, have to address it. Liquid weren't even supposed to really be here in this tournament.
No, they weren't.
This is their opportunity to prove that they belong with the top dogs in the playoff side of the bracket, and they are just one map away.
And I think that's going to be incredibly important to those players to have that lifeline, but also to capitalize on it. And I think this match is about capitalizing on opportunities.
Sure.
Xerxia are one away from being able to replicate their champions performance as well, getting to the quarterfinals. They said that was their goal, to be able to be better than they were last year, to achieve more. A quarterfinals appearance here feels like a minimum then, but you can't allow yourself to lose a match like this, an opportunity like this. But you've got them on their comfort territory in a mirror match in terms of the compositions.
And Liquid again changing the position this time, push all the way deep. The triple push.
Habis nggak tuh?
Nvidia can't do much more but try and backpedal to safety, but he's taken care of. And
habis.
Oh, Yumpy.
Yeah, try winning this one.
I mean, he's going to certainly give it a good go.
Yumpy crispy pula nih.
You get something out of it.
But what an aggressive play from Xerxia as well. That's the confidence, that's the level.
And this is the kind of stuff they were doing all the time against Optic, to try and scout out, get a bit of early information as well, maybe find out where Ye might be lurking to take care of him when they were playing against Optic. This time around, obviously, these aggressive plays, you need to be ready for it, because Xerxia are not scared to support Surf in that capacity.
And this is what I wanted to see from them on Split as well. It's so much more difficult on that map. Look at this, they just blitz down mid.
Mantap juga nih, Zed. Langsung di push midnya.
Take the spike down, bring the fight to Liquid.
Berapa ya? 3 orang tadi. 4 ya?
But otherwise, you're expecting Xerxia to have the advantage. Didn't in the second half of Split. Did fumble that one. Got to be a bit more cautious here. Once more going for a mid push.
That's so deep, and look at how they're all grouped together as well.
It's a quiet one, Bren, a sneaky one.
Yeah, they don't want to take any risks as well. They don't want to hand over this weaponry. They're trying to play with that player advantage for them. They hear the turn around the corner though. That's going to be
Di push lagi.
Sokas needs to try and survive. Okay, dash away to the help of the rest of his team.
Kalah Scream.
Not
Mati lagi nih Yampi-nya. Rugi kah? Ininya dapat nggak? Apa? Ya nggak dapat cuy. Bulldognya nggak dapat cuy. Tuh kan? Wah ada tuh sama Sushi Boy.
Oh nge-lag ya. Atau enggak apa? Iya kan soalnya enggak masuk. Ternyata.
Iya kan di senjatanya dia masuk kan?
Game cepat kan.
Aduh timing. Timing ah.
Sebenarnya sejatinya tuh kalau apa dukungnya tim Liquid lah ya. Cuman karena Nvidia Asia kayak pengennya aku tengok dia menang gitu.
Iya.
Kasihan.
Aku pun lumayan suka juga sama Sersia di masalah itu. Jadi asik aja ngeliatnya. Patipan fanboy. Wah ini enak nih posisinya Cruz nih. Kalau nggak kena scan enak dia tuh. Masih maksa ah. Masih maksa ah Liquid. Aduh. Dibalikin. Wah, dibalikin Sud, gila Sud. Wah, gila sini. Untung Sersia. Half buy tadi kan? Ya. Gila sih keren sih.
Bisa ya gitu. Penontonnya di Twitch
YouTube.
On top of the sage wall and just start spraying people down with a Spectre. But that's what's amazing watching Xerxia. They are not afraid to make these kind of plays. This is Cruz. Who, by the way, had, the best performance out of anybody in Map 1, but it's not normally their big player. You're looking for the big plays to come out of Surf, to come out of Scary, to maybe be coming out of Sushi Boys as well. But this team is well-rounded, and none of them lack confidence.
There's little pockets of individuality that you see. There's explosions of play from a lot of these minor region teams on the global events as well.
Ya di-push terus.
Diko berapa? Detik berapa?
1:19. Kau berapa?
Lagi replay.
Hah? Replay yang mana?
Replay yang tadi.
Coba kok kali 2. Bang, menurut abang siapa yang menang? Sersia dong, Leonardo. Saya telat nggak bang? Enggak telat kok. Abang nggak sahur? Udah sahur. Kalian udah sahur nggak?
Ini satu berapa? Aku 1:15 nih. 1:13.
Aku 47. Kau nonton di YouTube aku ya? Saya pride kah bang? Yoi, saya pride. Halo bang, halo Haji Muhammad. Welcome to the stream. Aku udah sahur bang, mantap. Haji Muhammad udah sahur kak? Wah 4-0 nih. Gila nih. Keren nih. Bang please main blocks fruit bang. Oke siap. Aku lagi sahur, mantap aja Muhammad. Sahur apa itu?
Iya nih, kosong.
Aku nonton dari YouTube aja Zod, biar sama kita. Aku 128. Kau berapa?
128.
123.
Oh, aku nonton dulu juga. Ya, biar tambah viewers. Nonton YouTube ya.
Coba ya.
Matikan suara YouTube. Oh.
Beda dikit nah kalau aku nonton YouTube aku. Kau refresh dulu coba. Alah, kena bokong. Daging, sayur, nugget, kerupuk, wortel banyak banget. Aska, sahurnya enak tuh.
If Surf was the player that's actually supposed to be locking that down, he would have a teammate watching his back. But because their setup is actually Surf baiting you into cruise.
Keren, lengkap banget Aska, iya. Lengkap banget nih, keren nih. Aku sahur pakai nasi padang aja itu banyak juga itu mah Leonardo. Wah, 4-1 nih. Dapat 1 round tim Liquidnya. Tuh kan? Nah, tuh. Di-push lagi. Di-push lagi nih 3 orang midnya. Nice. Hit 100 tuh. Ini Vera-nya. Aku juga suka nasi padang, iya. Aku juga suka nasi padang, Aska.
Aku 1 berapa? Aku 135. 134.
55, 54. Kok jauh kali Zod nih? Kalau di HP aku tuh cuman beda 2 detik. Cuman beda 2 detik deh. Iya, emang bu Padang terbaik ya guys ya. Iya, yoi. Padang Pride. Kamu tuh orang apa? Siapa Aska? Leonardo atau aku? Nice, kena delay, ada ulti. Aduh, kok bisa mati cuy? Kok bisa mati? Duh. Nice. Lah kena lah. Oh nice.
Nah, aku pula yang kecepatan Zara.
Berapa kah?
026. 27.
Sama. Sabar loh, ini lagi time out nih. Nggak tahu kita. Kau nontonnya di YouTube aku kan? Nggak mungkin dong lebih cepat. Nggak mungkin dong lo. Aku nonton.
Enggak, aku YouTube pun nonton juga.
YouTube.
Juga nonton.
Itu oke.
Yang dari VCT nonton enggak?
Siapa yang cita-cita tinggal di Semarang? Angkat tangan. Aska tinggal di mana? Di Jawa. Mantap Aska. Jawabannya keren kayak gitu. Jangan kayak Leonardo ya. Jawabnya kota kan serem. Keren bang. Sekarang Kijol bisa berguna di side B. Yoi. Tapi biasanya kalau meta sekarang pakai chamber. Bang Leon. Ini nih kayaknya lain aja nih orang nih. Tim-tim aneh nih. Seharusnya Yampi pakai chamber. Dia, karena kan dia kan ini aweper. Tapi nggak tahu nih kenapa dia nggak pakai chamber.
Langsung OP ya.
They have played 16 agents so far this year. I mean, they go for it.
Surf dengan OP-nya.
Not necessarily new compositions,
OP
but
merubah keadaan kah?
you could say unexpected compositions.
Nih, 06, 05 sama nggak?
Luan aku lagi, luan 3 detik aku.
Nggak apalah. Aku kalau nontonin stream aku di HP beda dikit Zut ininya.
Iya.
Delaynya.
Ada sama itu nih. Udah pupus dah 2 detik.
Leonardo Semarang itu subuh jam berapa? Nah, ditanya tuh Leonardo. 51 A-nya di ulti Viper. Udah di setup sama Killjoy sama Vipernya. Tuh, udah tahu, udah dapat. Seharusnya mundur dong. Udah tahu ada Viper sama Killjoy. 10 menit lagi subuh. 10 menit lagi subuh, cepet juga ya.
Ini kena cut nih.
Wah, ini mantap nih posisi Cruz nih. Sumpah mantap nih. Mantap nih, dapat satu. Dapat lagi. Sorry Bang, nggak pernah komen, nggak apa-apa Dipta. Pakai operator tadi tuh si scrimnya. Oh, operator dari surf ya. Jogja juga sama Bang, jangan lupa minum. Oh iya ya.
Operator dari surf.
Iya kan? Operator dari surf kan? Oh, Nvidia pakai operator.
Itu aku bilang teori mengubah keadaan kah OP ya?
Oh, aku kira si surf tadi yang operator aja.
Pas Liquid balik tadi itu kan langsung sing OP itu. Scream pakai OP jadi ya. Karena darahnya low 24.
Bang, menurut abang Scream jago apa overrated? Emang jago sih dia. Untuk masalah aim ya, untuk masalah aim dia emang jago sih. Buktinya map 1 si Sersia udah ini kalah aim gitu loh. Sama orang-orang nih, sama tim Liquid. Cuma kayak ini aja lagi. Tinggal masalah stratnya aja lagi kayaknya ya.
Tapi S-Book ini map attacker nah.
Iya, attacker. Makanya tim Liquid ngambil attacking duluan kan?
Tapi kan aku Sersia yang S-Book.
Iya, yang milih kan Sersia, yang milih map. Yang milih set kan pasti tim Liquid kan?
Mati lagi.
Yah. Aska main Roblox nggak? Aku nggak suka Roblox. Kurang. Wah. Yah. Di absen satu-satu. Di absen satu-satu nggak tuh? Siapa tadi yang pakai Guardian tadi?
Si siapa? Jumpy.
Crispy coy ayam orang nih. Tuh. Padahal Roblox game terbaik. Absen Bang, saya hadir. Iya, ada Leonardo, ada Haji Muhammad, ada Dipta, ada Zaki juga. Bang, saya pamit mau ibadah. Oke, thank you ya Leonardo. Tuh, kalah lawan ini loh. Kalah lawan ngepick sama operator loh. Hai.
Kok dikit? Oh ya pas ya. Kira aku darah Nvidia cuman setengah kurang.
Kena 110 jadinya kena.
Incredible strategy.
Alah kejauhan.
Shot around the corner, that's a quick miss.
Scream mati dengan siapa, Bes?
Scream mati.
Nggak, dengan siapa dia mati?
Oh iya, mati dengan siapa dia? Nggak tahu. Aku nggak ini juga tadi. Aduh. Yampinya dapat terus nih.
Panas Yampi.
Wah, nggak ada yang bisa bunuh Yampinya. Ente.
Considering Liquid have not been able to get those rounds on the board, that's pretty bad. I mean, straight back into your initial loss bonus.
Iya sih, tapi kenapa tuh Aska? Tapi kenapa itu?
These Sersha players are so talented. They are genuinely skilled players. You can talk about their comps or the setups or whatever all you like. These players are not weak aimers by any degree. We saw that yesterday.
Hotman Paris
official.
Dia.
Lalu dia.
Alah dia.
Alah. Countries, it just produces incredible mechanical talent.
It certainly has in the past, yeah. Surf the next crop. 18 years old, this guy. Had a rough performance in map 1, but he's still here, still fighting with the rest of his team, getting incorporated into these set plays. And Liquid, they take B green control.
So much aggressive space.
Scream memang gak coba ya, Bes?
Enggak.
So much information.
Jarang dia pakai OP. Dapat lagi. Wah, gila sih Yampi ultinya.
It was a really nice play. I mean, he gets another one. I'm surprised at that level of value, but that's a phenomenal opening pick for Liquid to get.
Yang mati Cruz lagi, ada ulti tadi kan?
Bisa retake sih boy.
Oh iya, ada lockdown. Tapi enggak. Orang tuh yang ulti yang ready, nggak ada. Ada sih Soulcast. Resurrection. Bisa nih. Nice ulti. Ya. Bang, itu abang main atau nonton Aska? Ini tim Thailand lawan tim Eropa.
Panas kali Jampi sumpah. Nggak bohong aku, Cok. Lagi sange Jampi.
Wah, kok gila kali nih Jampi nih.
Surf was going for a flank down mid, wasn't really connected with the rest of his team, comes back in, operator in hand, and Yampi's already won it for him. There's a bit of a objective to finish things off, but it's all about Yampi. He was amazing for them yesterday, had the most impact by far for the team, even if he didn't, top frag both of the maps. And then here again,
ini nih ultinya masuk terus loh.
Enggak, Cok, tanpa recon loh ulti si Yampi.
Dapat 3 lagi di sini. Hah? 4 ya? 3 tuh.
4, Cok.
4 satunya kan ulti. Enggak, yang di side tadi. 3.
Iya, 4 kill dia. Keren nih.
Iya, tapi kan satu kan ulti.
Kan 4K juga.
Satunya kan ulti.
Ulti healing anjir. Ke-detect di mana, ulti di mana.
Berlatih sama Sinatra kan ya.
Eris. Kalian ujian Eris?
Iya, lagi UTS nih.
Deadpool mana? Susah kali diuji sekarang.
Depon.
And I feel like one of the big things is that Liquid have been able to find those opening picks. One of the things that was really snarling them up is that they struggled to figure out where Sahur was playing, where these pushed up.
Awas Sahur dengan
And once they
rokok
got to the
aja.
site, they weren't able to commit to it fully. Had to go for those wild rotates that ended up punishing them. Yeah. And Liquid, they really do struggle when they don't find the first pick.
Ntar
They have the
lagi.
worst 4v5 win rate
Sahur
across the
tepat azan
tournament.
Cok.
And that's the stats from this year heading into this tournament.
Implying that one of the players is first death.
Yes, when one of Liquid's players dies first, they only win, I mean, less than a quarter of the time. So it really is imperative for Liquid to start these rounds out well. Now, I do think, though, that they're playing in generally much better at this Masters tournament than they played online in EMEA. Something just seems to have clicked right beforehand.
Down at the back. Now, Xerxes has been taking a lot of aggressive A control, and this time, Liquid are playing right into it. It's going to be the 1-for-1. This was playing up close, but they do have the res available.
So does Cruz, but there's no way he's going to
Foxy bisa di rest tuh. Oh, di depan deh ya.
I think so. Pushing that deep. And now Surf is left wondering, well, his players, his teammates, a bit of a support line for him, I think, in covering a lot of those angles, the line of sight angles where take flight.
Yeah.
The other boys might not have
Lagi
been
main gua Zed.
He's pretty claustrophobic at the moment, just hiding from the drone.
Someone needs to break this.
Cruz tried, gotta break this
Ya anggap
So.
Tim ini drone first.
Cruz.
Takes matters into his own hands.
Another mad play.
Pushes across.
Dapat dua nih. Nice.
And that is Scary supporting him right from the side.
Nice, easy run. Aduh, enggak lagi.
Tries to make some magic happen. It is the 2v3.
Jangan dipik lah, scary.
Just watching with the long sideline. Scary is in trouble if he picks that one, and now it's a 2v2 link.
Ya, dibalikin.
Finds the header Surf. Sushi Boys left alone. Only the Spectre to work with. Is the spike being planted?
Nice.
But the swing was there.
Bentar bang, mau sholat dulu. Oke Dipta. Di sini belum azan sih. Kita cek dulu ya jam berapa sini azannya.
I mean, Liquid managed to get themselves into a good position to start out 4v4. The drone not getting
425.
but Cruz,
425
actually set up in a gorgeous crossfire that punished the way that Soulcast set up the wall. Scary was firing above it, Cruz at the side. At the end of the day, it didn't really matter. Liquid able to claw things back into their control. These rounds have just been on a
Alhamdulillah.
Kalian jam berapa, Riz?
Apa?
Kalian jam berapa? Azan.
4:37.
Brand, these mid pushes have not been working because Liquid are playing so much.
Wah, Yampinya kayak tai sih, sumpah. Ayolah, satu sama lah. Biar map terakhir Asen lagi. 6 sama sini. Aduh, Surf nih ultinya kayak kurang gitu dari kemarin.
Blunder sih kalau mau menang.
Lihat tuh post plan-nya tim Liquid. Udah nge-setup kali dia. Wah, darah 13 nggak bisa. 6 sama, udah 6 sama fix sih.
Jampi sih yang itu mereka.
Yampi sih, keren sih dia sih.
18 anjir. Terus masih 12.
Tuh, gila kali kalau Scream masalah aim kayak ini nih.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a short break as the analyst desk just really breaks down everything that we've witnessed.
Ya, santai.
Thank you very much, guys. You know, when that map started, I thought we're going to see map 3. This is going the distance. We're going to get our first non-2-0. But Team Liquid, they don't want me to have that. And just
6 sama lagi. Tadi map 1 kayak itu juga, Zod. 6 sama juga.
Done in the reverse fashion. We saw Team Liquid catching up on what was happening, what Xerxes was putting on the board. Conversely, it was the same thing that Xerxes did on Split on the first half as well. So these teams are growing into each other, working out what the set play is and how to reverse and concur that.
To me was, you know, the same start but a different feeling. You know, Sersha getting that pistol round and Liquid actually not finding a response. And we're highlighting Fox here because it's not only that he is the IGL. I think he has a lot to do with how the players are moving around the map. We see Surf just taking aggressive positions, but always giving the feeling that he could be anywhere. It's a lot of pressure to put onto him, but he was performing well and he was making things difficult for Liquid all the time. And as I said, Liquid, you know, just comes here and he's like, oh, this is split. They're gonna give us the space. We can literally just start a mid-execute onto A, then freeze, and we go back to B, and everything is going to be free. No.
Something to point out as well, we spoke about Yampi as to why he was, you know, going on to the Sova. Fox obviously being the IGL and someone that we have seen play Sova time and time again.
He's very aggressive.
And he's very aggressive with it. Do you think Yampi's maybe taken a leaf out of his book and gone, I like the way Fox plays it. We're getting onto Icebox. Give me an opportunity to really be a front runner as one of, you know, the better Sova diffs here.
He needs a little bit more from the back. You know, it's more like Yampi's style. It's like, oh yeah, I got this corner, I got this flank. Oh yeah, a player that I still needed to step up for this one, and I really hope that he does on the defense is Nivera, especially on those last rounds. He was doing better, but I feel like he's having a rough start today.
I mean, you guys have wanted Yampi to be more aggressive. We're talking about the guy